Coach, what kind of progress is he been making to get closer?
I mean, it's pretty evident. It's small increments. He's not available to play, so I'm not to measure that for you. He's just not where he needs to be.
And then it's the protocol to land meetings. Is it just you just got to just follow the steps for him to get ready?
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm so terrified of talking about that. I got fined $25,000 in New Orleans because I said the wrong thing about concussion. So I don't even like talking about it. You know, it's just a delicate situation. Different players have different responses to it. And the protocols are what they are, and we have to abide by them. So that's what it is. So I'm not losing any money today.
And the only thing I would did you have that talk with the league you and James about?
James did. I'm done with it. You know, no, I'm not doing that. No way possible. I got, you know how many kids I got? I got a lot of kids, man. Yeah, Christmas.
Which the Miami game was a pretty good example of book reading double team.
Yeah. Yeah.
You speak to his growth in terms
It's just it's a evolution of, you know, not just him, but how he's allowed his teammates to, you know, be a part of it all. The great ones do it. You know, as I've said before, it's like my job to space and get guys in spots where they needed to be. And that's why I felt so bad about that last play. Because we relied on him to bail us out. And he has, but he just does a really good job of dealing with double teams, and not just that, but seeing the backside of it. You know, sometimes people think of it only in terms of the blitz or the trap, but when you're that guy, you have to look and see where the ball's going to go and who's around the ball, because the guy receiving the ball is like, throw me the ball, but Book can see that, you know, there's a defender behind him. So he's basically looking at three guys, two on him and the one that may take the pass away. So that part is a big time skill. And since I've been here, it's just evolved into a weapon for us.
you had that one play where you took the dribble backwards and fired it to Dwayne and
Yeah.
double team. Is that kind of back dribble something that you just developed after you've seen these defenses and to buy yourself a little more time and space to get away from that double team?
I would imagine. I mean, some guys pull the double team towards them to make it a longer rotation for the trapper. Some guys do it to bait, you know. I was introduced to it when I first came into the league, but it was from a different place. It was at the block, and guys on the block would pull you towards the sideline just to get you in a longer rotation. The game has shifted so much now. We're doubling guys away from the basket, and we're blitzing guys away from the basket. Whereas back in the day, we doubled and blitzed guys, you know, right by the bucket. So everything's the same, just in different environments. So I would imagine guys are just using a different environment, but the same tactic.
Monty, DeAndre's rebounding numbers are down. How much of that do you attribute to this amount of switching you guys have done this year?
I don't know. I thought last game, he and I had a heartfelt conversation about, you know, just that. He's down like 3, I think. And then last game, I don't know how many, I forget, 7 or 8 offensive rebounds. And that's the DA that we know. So I suspect he's going to get back to the normal rate that he's accustomed to. You know, DA could easily go 12 to 15 every night. Now the switching can affect you because you end up contesting a long shot. It's hard to contest a shot at 25 feet and then go back to the basket. But I think last game he showed, you know, what he's capable of every night.
I can't imagine for a young player like Dwayne coming into a team like this that has so many good defenders and him trying to pick everything up. How have you assess the way he's been putting it together defensively so far?
Defensively can take a minute. But the thing I like about Dwayne is he's a willing learner. He absorbs a ton, and he doesn't allow the learning to take away from his game. Sometimes guys get into the funk of trying to learn everything and then they forget their game. Dwayne knows he can put the ball in the basket. I don't think anybody's going to mess with that. He's just a really good offensive player, and I got to figure out ways to, get him in and keep him in the game when it's a benefit to us.
Along the same lines with the defense, with how many, not just Jay or anybody else, but just a cycling of new players throughout, what do you think has been the most key factor in the defense staying intact and being effective with pretty much, sometimes only groups of people that you can.
Yeah, I mean, I think having a base group for a while helps, but it certainly is a benefit to us to have wings that can pressure the ball, can guard multiple positions, but having DA and Biz and Jock behind you certainly helps. When you have mobile bigs that can switch, if you look at the top defenses in the league, they have mobile bigs that can switch and guard. That's typically what you get into in late clock situations. I'd love to sit here and tell you that we, system it all and do the Ron Adams, Pat Riley defensive thing every night. We're just, we try, but I think having guys like Mikal and Book who guard multiple positions, Torrey's been unreal for us defensively, but having mobile bigs certainly helps all of that.
Monty, as you prepare for the Warriors, what do you see differently about where they are right now this season?
I mean, I don't think I'm going to add to the conversation. They've talked about their stuff publicly about how young they are on the bench. That's probably the only difference I see. They still have Steph. They still have Clay. Jordan's one of the best players in the league now. Draymond and Looney's underrated. Like, they still are a really good basketball team. The only difference is their bench may not be as old, but they're athletic and quick and can score in bunches. That's probably the only difference I see. It's just so early in the season. I'm not quite sure it's fair to make all these declarations about teams just yet.
How long does it take usually before you get a feel for who you are, what you have, and is it going to be a little bit longer in this situation because of the guys who have come in and out of the lineup?
I think so. I mean, we've always said it. We look at it about 20 games to make an assessment and then try to make some changes or improvements to what we do. This year could be a little bit different for us because we've had so many injuries and things of that nature, but we typically wait for the 20-game mark.
Monty, and maybe it was exacerbated from Monday night, but it does seem like the Suns players' ratio flailing to the floor for fouls is a lot lower than other teams.
Yeah.
That's just a difference in physical play. I don't know, but is that a coaching thing? Like, as a team, you decide how you're going to play offensively and defensively, or?
I mean, if it is, then I'm probably going to fail at that. I'm not going to teach flopping, especially when we go into the season and they talk about how we're going to, not award it. Why would I teach it? So that's where I draw the line as far as that topic of conversation is concerned. I mean, I just think we emotionally you can get involved in it, especially at the end of the game when you have these close games and you look at some of the stats that don't go in your favor. It bothers you a bit, but I'm not going to teach guys to flop. That'd be time wasted, in my opinion. I just think we have to wait and see if we start to get some of these calls to go our way. But we have had some drastic disparities when you look at the free throw line deal number. But again, it's something that you can't control. You got to control the things you can.
Thanks, Joe.
All right.
Thank you, Monty.
Yeah, thank you.